Starfield. Jesus, I didn't think I'd come back to this game, but here we are with Baki Hanma, a space bastard who does very important things and nothing really fucking matters in this game. I'm fucking joking with you, I'm fucking with you. And that we're talking about DLC, specifically the Shattered Space DLC that focuses on Varun and, you know, this whole DLC from what many people say. I haven't played it, but I've seen a good bit of the content, quote unquote. That the DLC is, and it's just basically the same shit from the base game. Even feels like cut content from the base game because of how impactful the DLC feels, which means like nothing. Nothing. There's no impact at all. Does this surprise me? No, because I knew this shit was going to happen. Starfield, I feel, doesn't have the right set of tools to give us a crazy interesting story that doesn't involve combat or, you know, whatever whatever the Varun DLC was, right? I guess it tried to be like very like deep and spatial and whatever the fuck, right? But it just doesn't hit. It doesn't impact anybody that much, and just doesn't offer anything to you. so from my ideas, and you guys can pitch in and express your ideas too. I'd love for a DLC revolving around the Terrormorphs and then being a constant among the multiple dimensions, infesting multiple planets and dimensions. I'd love to be able to you know, deal with the Terrormorphs on a much bigger scale than what we played in the base game. Ultimately, coming in contact with the hive mind that is sort of like a warped version of the Unity that will try to coerce you into becoming its harbinger of, you know, Terrormorph death or whatever, right? Across the multiple dimensions, and as I would call your character, you know, if you agree or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? The Terrorborn or the Warpborn, some variation of like that, where you join the hive mind into, you know, trying to establish the hive mind as, you know, into Unity's spot, right? And take over and, you know, be a fucking asshole about it and just be a fucking menace. You know, the impact of your decision if you stay as a Starborn and destroy the hive mind would net you more powers, creating biometallic weaponry, a potential way to control Terrormorphs, cut from the hive mind, of course, and you're able to contribute more to the Xeno department and turn them into an actual faction you control. If you become a Terrorborn and side with the hive mind, you can turn the Terrormorphs into a faction and you control them and take over planets, go to war with every other human faction, subject them to control, and fully be able to be the bad guy until you reach Unity to replace it with the hive mind or whatever crazy shit, you know, that, you know, with actual criticism, actual refinement of the idea could fucking do, right? I did that because that's a reference to another video I just made about toxic positivity and how there's barely any actual criticism and people being accountable for their shitty ideas. And, you know, I'm not getting into it. Watch the video. I hope you enjoy it. But back to Starfield and its potential, right, for DLCs. So yes, that's more of my Terrormorph idea because I actually really like the Terrormorph section of Starfield. I actually liked it a lot. It was kind of short when it comes to the Terrormorphs. Like, I think my favorite moment was like, you know, when they started invading like the city and stuff. I thought that shit was fucking cool for like the 5 minutes before I fucking minigunned them to fucking death, right? But another idea involves the same concept as one of the missions where you go through like time and space or whatever, right? And you go from past to present. And I forget like the mission details about it because you save some guy or whatever, right? But mainly this DLC would focus on trying to complete a mission given to you by Unity to clear up an anomaly during the Freestar UC war. Depending on the side you choose, they will eventually get you to the anomaly, which is just a Starborn trying to disrupt the events of the timeline by causing both sides to destroy each other even more than how they normally would, and go into an armistice and, you know, try to get them weak enough to gain enough power to create his own small faction of Starborn to take over the galaxy universe and sort of abandon Unity, right, in their whole mission, and sort of just focus on them, focus on their whole little faction that they're trying to create, and focus on taking over this whole dimension, because in their mind and in their logic that there's other dimensions, so why not have this one for themselves, which, you know, is valid, I suppose. Just people blinded by greed and wanting to have a permanent place in the universe, right? Which, you know, it's fine, whatever, right? Whatever, right? So with whatever faction you choose, you get to get experimental weapons and ship parts. You can summon a squad of NPC fighters to help you along. Your actions will cause the opposing faction to hate you like a lot during this DLC, and they will instantly be hostile to you in whatever area you are besides the base game, because that is in, you know, current day, future at that present moment. So, you know, they won't try to kill you in base game, but in the DLC where you go to the past during this war, they will immediately be hostile towards you, which, you know, I think will be good, will be fine, and will be fun. The Starborn who tried to mess up the time stream would be defeated, or you could join them and create your own Starborn faction that is hostile to everyone, to both sides, and potentially ally or be an enemy of the Crimson Fleet, and, you know, creating bases to actually help the fucking war effort, no matter which side you're on, right? Which could be implemented and, you know, make it fucking worth it, which could be really, really fucking nice. But yeah, that idea needs more refinement, I would say. But overall, like how rough it is, I think being able to go back into the past could be really fucking cool, especially during that war, and, you know, actually being involved in it and going through like fighting with robots and mechs and stuff like that. That shit would be fucking incredible. Those are two DLC ideas, so let me hit you with another one, Chief. Rujin Industries, of course we know who these fuckers are developing more cybernetic implants and complex AI to implant in robots like Kaiser from the Red Devils, and, you know, create more advanced like machinery, which could be really cool, right? With their mind control implants catching the eyes of Freestar and the UC, who, you know, have gone through the implants and, you know, are being used to introduce these mind control implants, right? And you are the prime example for them to use it on, right? They will go ahead and also introduce and surprise both factions with new robots meant for war, or, you know, whatever they want, but primarily war, of course, right? They're more deadlier, more smarter, and they can even automate a whole ship by itself for combat, which, you know, causes both factions to sort of look at each other with, you know, new ideas on how to fuck each other over. So this would undoubtedly cause rifts between the two sides, as the armistice clearly says, no more mechs, no crazy machinery, right? That will go ahead and kill people. But an argument will be made as to, like, the same was made for the Xeno warfare, but, you know, they made an exception, I would say, to the Terrormorph situation that happened earlier. So seeing all this, you know, turmoil and, you know, arguments and stuff like that, Rujin would try to smooth everything over by saying that mechs can be used for home defense as well, not just for war, and even explain that they would even be a great asset for anti-espionage defenses, which later on won't be incredibly good for you, right? Because of course they will send you into the world of espionage again, and to, you know, see what's going on with the two factions that bought mechs and new implants for them. And Rujin, of course, is sort of worried that they may have started, like, you know, the precursor to another war between the two. And they send you to go ahead and steal and, you know, eavesdrop and, you know, plant listening devices to spy on both factions and see what's going on. This would be a prelude to another DLC where both factions are actually going to war again, and you choose whatever faction you want to join. But, you know, not just you joining, but for Constellation to join, which, you know, would be kind of an issue because some members are from the UC military, some members are from Freestar, and it would be kind of interesting to see everyone's like ideas and thoughts and perspective on the whole war, right? If you choose to join whatever side, or, you know, just sort of like fuel the side between them and try to cause peace between the two. Constellation being used as a sort of like mediator between the two, which could also be interesting. But honestly, I just want Constellation to be its own faction of like-minded people who would search the stars for sentient alien life, then use this as a way to sort of introduce an alien empire storyline, which could be fucking sick, right? I thought they could be doing something like that before the game came out. Like, you know, I had ideas about that. Give these bases you create fucking purpose, goddammit, not just for you, but for the faction you are part of, to use, make money directly from this, use it for the war effort, use it as a fob to fight an enemy faction on world, fucking something, goddammit, right? So each faction you could, you know, join that leads into more interesting plot lines, could really enhance the game, right? We got Shattered Space. This is a nothing burger of a DLC that really adds nothing super fun, right? Like no new mechanics, no really anything, right? So again, if we could actively in our free time wage war against factions, build our own faction up by robbing ships, taking over enemy bases, winning decisive battles on worlds, push the enemy faction into giving up or off-world, or, you know, offering peace, and, you know, have some sort of fucking politics going on that you can actually do as somebody who has done a bunch of crazy ass shit in the world. Come on, man. And like there's so much potential here that's not being realized here, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. I feel like they just want you to be this sort of like space explorer cowboy guy that just shows up, discoverer dude who gets into crazy situations, right? Who ultimately just helps guide events to their natural endpoint, but you yourself don't actually get to use the power and standing you've received, and just continue to do whatever the fuck you want with no real way to manipulate the world around you freely. Yeah, those were a lot of fucking words, man. It's just, it pisses me off, right? Because Starfield, with its combat, base building, and, you know, the vast amount of worlds to explore, could be settings for incredible battles and interesting stories, but I don't think the people in charge are eager to do any of the work, you know, to direct Starfield in this direction. An update or DLC where you can go to war against the UC with Freestar, or vice versa. You can add death robots, large-scale space battles, develop space stations for use, defense and raid missions using the mission board, add tanks and military vehicles. You know, there's so much you could fucking add to this game, and I don't know what the fuck is going on, right? I'm sure with all this, people would look at Starfield and actually give it a fucking try. You know why? Because people want action. They want excitement. It's why people love the Clone Wars, because it's space wars, for fuck's sake. With battles taking place on land, sky, and space. It would be absolutely incredible to go to war in Starfield and actually contribute to it, and the war itself. And, you know, you could actually just, you know, go through a whole multi-planet wide war and actually, you know, participate in it, which could be really fucking cool, and would be even better if you can actually help win the shit. It would go absolutely hard to be able to do any of this, right? It like you can do so much, right? Like you can go ahead and participate in the war, win the war effort in some way, shape, or form by providing money, materials, and, you know, earn favor from the faction that you're helping. I don't think the people in charge are more focused on. I think the people in charge are more focused with adding adventure and fun, little like space stories they can get involved with, than actually trying to make the world interesting, for fuck's sake, right? And actually having you do fun, cool shit, right? And like we have Terrormorphs, we have this crazy ass war over here, we have like pirates in the underworld and all this other crazy fun shit, but there isn't really a way to really live in these worlds. You're just passing by. You're just a guest in these worlds, right? You're just a guest in the military. Even though you have rank, you can't really use the shit, right? Like it's like you're just a guest there. You're like a part-timer. You're not really there. You're not really part of what's going on. You're just a broom, like guiding everything towards its eventual bucket, right? It doesn't fucking matter what you do in the game. And the game is boring. Mainly because nothing you do fucking matters. Nothing feels really worth it. And the freedom you have can, at most, just have you just wander around aimlessly, because there's no real direction. There's nothing to do in any sort of location. Like, of course, you can discover things and build bases and destroy spacers and all this other shit, right? But you can't actually be part of the underground, like, you know, syndicates and stuff like that. You can't actually be part of the military besides do a couple missions here and there, right? You can't actually just, you know, be like develop any of these factions in some way, shape, or form. You're just there just to complete the mission, which fucking sucks, man. It's a really sad situation that Bethesda, of all people, of all, like, you know, companies out there, pumped out this shit as DLC instead of like a Freestar UC Galactic War DLC. Like, what? Or a goddamn Terrormorph Hive Mind DLC? You're out of your fucking mind, man. I'd be more interested in all these things and not this Varun house shit, right? Now I'm getting fucking mad, right? Because this is so fucking dumb. Because there's so much potential here, and I hate unrealized potential. I hate wasting my time. There's nothing in this game that pisses me off more than wasting my time doing something that doesn't fucking matter, that doesn't really fucking help me in like truly in the end, right? But let me calm down here. Let me calm down here. So what do you guys think, right? What DLCs would you use for, like, what ideas for DLCs would you use for Starfield to get actual interest in the game? And you just let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your ideas for Starfield and what they can do to actually make it interesting, make it, interesting story-wise, gameplay-wise, adding different mechanics and stuff like that. What do you guys think? Tell me your ideas. And with that being said, you guys are great. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much for the support. Stay safe mentally, emotionally, and physically. Really, I want to know your ideas. Tell me your thoughts about everything. And thank you so much for the support. See you guys later in the next video. Peace.